Alrighty, what is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome back to the channel for another market update. Hope everybody's having a lovely day. And with that being said, let's get into the TA. Alright, so I do have all the drawings turned off, and I just want to point out we do have a doji candlestick so far on SPY, and then you come over to QQQ, and you do have buyers stepping up to form the second hammer candlestick in a row. Is it the second one underneath the first one? Yes, but it's the second one. And once I do turn my drawings on, I'm going to show you where that stems from. You got, let's just see, you got down to 368.82 and your gap fill was over there at 368.63. So you came within 19 cents of filling that gap. And that is why gap fills oftentimes act as pivot points. That is what we use them here on the channel. So if you are new here, just know you can be expecting your gap fills are pivot points. All right, there we go. What I do want to point out is, again, we still have this bull structure going on. Even with today's drop, I'm going to show you over on ES, the picture ain't looking bad at all. But we're going to start over here with QQ and move over to SPY before we get over to the futures. And I'm going to show you. Buyer stepped in right here. You have two hammer candlesticks forming right there. As you see, we have three big wicks going on here. As we come into the gap fill, buyers very clearly want to hold the line. I'm not saying you don't get back down there, but as I said, I'm going to show you what is on the futures, and it honestly looks pretty sexy for upside to me. You are clearly in this bullish falling wedge going on over here on QQ. I did delete the parallel channel lines that I had drawn because I ended up seeing this, and I was like, oh, all right, why not follow the structure that's going on right now? On top of this, you do have a triple bullish divergence going on here on the 1 hour RSI. Now moving over to SPY, we have a very similar picture. I want to show you. You actually held the line right here, but underneath this level, underneath 446.27, that is what opens the door up to coming all the way down here to 443.90. That is a level we've been watching for quite some time. Since we were up here, we were pointing out when we get underneath 452, that is what completely opens up the door to coming down here to 442.97 to 443.90. And it does look like buyers stepped in a little early over here, and not too close to it, but they stepped in a little early. You also do have this triple bullish divergence going on over here. That's something I want to point out. So like bullish divergences coming up the wazoo over here. And then what are we going to do? We're going to take a look at ES, and we're going to come over here to the 4 hour time frame, and I'm going to show you are being held up exactly at your breakout level. This is your, we'll call it the breakout zone here, and guess what? You see a hammer candlestick just like I'm seeing a hammer candlestick. Yes, you do. All right, you have a 1, you have a 2, you have a 3. So again, you have this triple bullish divergence going on over here on ES on the 4 hour time frame. When did we last have that bullish divergence going on? You had one over here. All right, you can draw that out right there. What do we... Oh, did not mean to do that. Look at that big old mess. All right, then what do we have over here? We had another triple, quadruple, quintuple, whatever you want to call it. You had another one going on over there. And yeah, if you look back since then, the only time you got down here was back in May. So I still think this is going to be a bigger buying opportunity. I think we're probably going to see a rally going into CPI, or we continue to fall and we rally off the CPI. I don't know. If I had to take a guess, that would 100% be my guess. That's me putting myself out on the line there. I think we get a rally off it. All right, if you don't get one going into it. Am I saying that CPI can't take this thing all the way back down here and bring SPY to 438? No, I'm not saying that at all. All right, it's completely on the table. Like I said, we still did not fill this 442.97 gap fill, and that is ultimately what I was looking at to trigger a larger scale buying opportunity over here on SPY. And as we just pointed out, you didn't hit it yet. So I think there's going to be a catalyst to get us down there. But as we've been pointing out this video, the charts are clearly, like the buyers behind these candlesticks, clearly are taking control of the chart. So I do think we probably do see some upside. Maybe we do continue a little lower. But as I just pointed out, there are so many bullish factors on the table here going on. And we're in the perfect spot over here on ES for that bounce. Let me take this off. I don't actually know what that level is. And then you come over here to NQ, and it's also really not looking too bad. You did end up having this bear flag kind of formation going on over here. Could have also looked at it as a falling wedge, but it did act as a bear flag. You broke down. Again, you still have all these bullish divergences going on over here. You have 1 point, you have 2 point, you have 3. So you have a triple bullish divergence going on over there. And yeah, so that is pretty much it. The last thing we'll point out is over here on msft. And since this is going to be a short video, I will give you another trade idea. I got you guys. It's a little late to the party, but, you know, we entered earlier, like almost off open, but, you know, it's going to be a good one. Look at msft playing his games again. Look at this. I actually saw something, the Panda guy on Twitter, it popped up on my feed, and he was like, buckle your seatbelts. I figured Panda Woo or whatever his name is. He has been calling for a crash for so long. And it can crash, guys. But as we pointed out the other day, if VIX's daily RSI gets up here and it approaches 70, all right, 65 is where I start getting extremely interested. You see right there, I've had this marked. All right. If it starts doing it and we're not crashing, guys, it's going to start coming down. SPY is very likely going to start getting a bounce. And yeah, that's exactly what we start again. And it makes perfect sense. You know why? Because VIX went too far too quick. People are getting too bearish too quick. What does this typically bring? It typically brings shorts getting squeezed. All right. So that is something I was paying attention to. And like I had promised, great idea. CVS. All right. I'm not saying it comes back down to the entry point, but this is a pretty sexy setup if you ask me. All right, so we do have a double bottom going on over here. And as you can see, you did break out from this double bottom. You came back to the double bottom. And buyers are clearly trying to hold that double bottom neckline. If you want to put it on a zone, put it right there. And what happened? All right, held it perfectly with this candle. And these 3 candlesticks are literally getting buyers every single time off of that exact level. So I do think we have a solid shot of getting back up here. If you just take the measured move of this double bottom right here, you would be getting all the way up there. And there you go. All right, there is your trade idea of the day, just because, you know, this is an extremely short video here, but you know what, we got it done pretty quick today. All right, there we go. And yeah. All right, I'm just going to show you another one that I'm paying attention to, Baba. All right, Baba has earnings coming up. And you know what? We'll give an update on our boy Disney, because we shouted this one out the other day when it was down here. And guess what? All right, from 85.50, where are we now? We're at 87.30. We're running it back. All right, I did end up adjusting my trend line here. You had a false breakout over there. But guess what? Now we have a new trend line to follow. And I do think earnings, there's a solid shot that earnings is going to be the catalyst to bust this bad boy out of this bullish falling wedge. But above this level right there, above 87.20, it does open, which is the high over here. All right, 87.23 is the high right there. So above 87.23, it does open the door coming up here and filling this gap, which is the low of 88.46 and then $89. And again, earnings, I think this is potentially going to be a catalyst. This thing has, you know, been consolidating for a very long time. And yeah, I think it's much more likely to break up than down. All right, guys, with that being said, I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.